What is going on, everyone, and welcome back to another OTM pay-per-view predictions video here on the Overtime Sports Network. I am the host of the podcast and the founder of OTSN, Kyle Gagliardi, joined by the OTM pay-per-view champion, my good friend Jim Tucker, or as I like to call him, Tucky!
Oh, yeah! Tucky two belts, as some would say. Only have half of the hardware in front of me. The NXT title is sitting idly by in its case still. I don't know how to do
the disrespect. I walk in, the first thing I see, he's got the NXT Championship, which is technically mine, but he won at the last TakeOver, just sitting in its sleeve.
Well,
on a chair.
At least it's in its sleeve. I have to find the wall space. I'm a little cramped here in the man cave.
You are a little cramped. A lot of Red Sox stuff going on here. But at least when I had this, I put it front and center.
Yeah,
so when you get to my place, you can show it off a little bit. But yeah, we're here for Hell in a Cell predictions, and right now we're recording this on a Thursday night, and there's only 4 confirmed matches, Tuck.
Yeah, they're really investing in the card. A lot of solid build-ups. Just total nonstop action.
Some would say that on the Mark Wrestling Podcast.
Yeah, total hardcore energy.
Yeah, but hey, I mentioned earlier we are the part of the Overtime Sports Network. Go ahead and check out the new website, otsportsnetwork.wixsite.com/OTSN. And if you want to follow them on the socials, where would you do that, Tucky?
@_OTSN on Twitter and Instagram.
And you can follow our podcast @PodOnTheMark. No show this week. We'd had a fun little show last week. If they weren't able to tune in, you want to tell them a little bit about episode 38?
Yeah, so basically we took AEW and WWE rosters and smashed them together in what we were finding our dream matches. We're trying to build really solid cards. A lot of fun discussion.
It was.
Between myself, Gags, Mike Wilson from the Region Degenerates podcast.
Yep.
Vogus put a card together. So
Aaron Oroz did as well.
A lot of different cards, a lot of different shake-ups and mix-ups. So it was fun.
Yeah, it was a fun show. So go ahead and check it out. Like I said, @PodOnTheMark is where you'll be able to find that. We only know 4 matches, so we're going to do the 4 that we know for sure. There is one rumored match where there's a graphic on Twitter that I have seen earlier today that we will predict as well. And then the 6th one is kind of just
Who
a
knows?
guess.
Maybe.
It might happen.
Could happen.
It's been happening on TV, so we'll throw it in there. But the first one we're going to talk about here, Tucky, and I'm going to let you go first since you're the champion. Isn't that how we usually do it?
Yep.
The champ goes first. The Universal Championship will be in a Hell in a Cell match, but it also will be an I Quit stipulation between the Universal Champion Roman Reigns and Jey Uso.
Now, does that mean if they quit the match, they're out of the company or no?
No, it's just virtually saying I quit this
I'm
match. Yeah.
Yeah, I'm going to go with Roman.
Simple as that.
I don't know why. I don't see how Jey Uso I don't know what you're going to do with Roman after it.
Have you enjoyed the storyline, though?
Way more than I thought I would initially, because it felt like, throwing a random kind of mid-card guy up there just to hold the rope, but it's felt like there's been some serious ties to it, and the bloodline obviously is the biggest factor in that, but it's actually been done pretty well. I really enjoyed their first match.
Yeah, I did too. And I think we talked about it a little bit on the podcast too, is the environment not having fans and being able to, hear the dialogue between the two during the match.
That could not have happened in a stadium full of fans.
And I feel like you're going to get that similar type feel, but in a cell and an I Quit match. So the match itself, I am really excited for, but the pick is very simple. The pick is Roman Reigns. It just doesn't make sense for Jey Uso to hold a world title. Roman Reigns is the guy. He's with Paul Heyman. But like we said, the storyline is great. The match should be great.
Yeah.
And don't be surprised. I'm going to say this, because I know I mentioned it on the podcast before. If we start to see that Roman bloodline stable form, maybe Jimmy Uso comes in and says, I quit for Jey here.
Yeah.
Maybe he's just getting beat up so bad that Jimmy says it, and instead of actually throwing in the white towel, he does the I quit for him.
Yeah.
So maybe they can form the bloodline after this. But yeah, we're both going with Roman Reigns, as is Mikey Wilson. He's also part of this competition. So is Ryan Vogus. But we didn't get Vogus's picks once again.
Shocker.
He always does this.
It's okay.
He's trying to get this back.
Sneaky.
I'm trying to get this back, but that's not the match that's going to get anybody back. Next matchup here, I get to go first, is a non-title match between Jeff Hardy and Elias. This feud is it's brought back to our attention. We saw it kind of start months ago on Smackdown with the whole DUI incident and Elias getting hit by a car. So I do appreciate that we picked up on this feud that was kind of just left out there.
Yeah.
We never got, the end result. So putting it on Hell in a Cell, I guess it makes sense. Should be a solid matchup, but I think it's a coin toss, and this might benefit you hearing what I'm picking first, because you might go the opposite of me. But I am heel Liarda. I love the heels. I'm going with Elias, and I also think him returning more recently has a lot to do with this as well.
Yeah, Mikey also picked Elias in this matchup, and I think this is the most I don't know, the Bayley and Sasha one's good too, but it really is a coin flip. Do you continue to build Hardy as a formidable opponent, or do you give Elias the instant thrust upon his arrival? I'm leaning towards Hardy here, and I'm going to take the risk.
That is risky for you.
And putting the title on the line.
Especially if Vogus goes with Elias as well, then you're the only one. But then again, if Hardy wins.
High risk, high reward kind of thing. I don't take Elias very seriously.
You didn't like the concert on Monday night? Did you tune in to Raw?
I did.
He's got an album dropping Monday. Maybe that's a reason why he wins.
Man, I'm going it. Yeah, maybe. I don't know.
Yeah. So I'm going with Elias. He's going with Jeff Hardy. 2 more matchups that we know for sure is happening. One of them being the WWE Championship Hell in a Cell match between Drew McIntyre and the challenger Randy Orton. Tucky, I am glad you get to go first for this one, because this one also is a little difficult, in my opinion, to predict.
Yeah, I think it's a tough match. There's logical arguments for both sides. Mikey went with Randy Orton. I thought with the ambulance match that the feud could have been over. He ended it with a punt. And I think this is going to further solidify Drew McIntyre's reign as champion and actually put an end to it. I'm hoping that he wins and that the feud is done. I think it's ran its course. I think we've got a lot of good out of it.
And also with the draft, we now have new challengers on the brand that could step up to Drew McIntyre, like AJ Styles.
Edge, where's Edge?
Edge, yeah.
That kind of can get Orton out of the mix as well. So I'm going with Drew.
I like the pick. I also am going to pick Drew McIntyre. The last 2 shows, I actually picked Randy Orton because, I just thought they were going to strike while the iron is hot. But now I just view it as Randy is going to continue putting over Drew McIntyre as that babyface champion. And usually Hell in a Cell matches are end-all, be-all of feuds. Like, we're going to throw them in a cell. That's it. We're done after that. That will decide who is the overall winner of it. So it wouldn't make much sense to go with Randy Orton, because then you probably would have to have another matchup at the next pay-per-view. And we've seen a lot of Drew McIntyre and Randy Orton.
Now, an interesting question. Do you feel that idea of the Hell in a Cell being the end-all, be-all, end-all to a feud is going to hold the same weight in regards to Bayley and Sasha?
I don't. And I'm not going to go any further than that, because you get to go first, right?
That is incorrect. I went
crap.
And Randy. So
the SmackDown Women's Championship is another Hell in a Cell matchup between the SmackDown Women's Champion Bayley, who has held the belt for years, it feels like.
Yes.
Forever. And Sasha Banks, the challenger. Going off your question, I don't think that is going to play over into this match. I do see this being the main event. I feel like they have invested a lot of storyline time and TV time to these two eventually having this match. I think if Bayley just somehow retains here, it would probably have to be in a dirty way, which, Hell in a Cell, it could happen, and you could still go on with the feud, definitely. And they might want to prolong it, but I am going to go with a risky pick, in my opinion. I think it's risky. I'm going to say there's going to be a new SmackDown Women's Champion. I am going with Sasha Banks. I think she deserves a solid, lengthy run, and beating Bayley in a Hell in a Cell match could solidify that.
I also am going with Sasha Banks for many of the same
Really?
reasons.
I thought you were going to be a Bayley guy.
I am far more confident in actually the Bayley Sasha pick than I am Elias and Hardy.
Really?
Honestly, yeah.
Wow.
I think it's time. Bayley's had a fair to good run.
It got better.
It did get better, and I think she really benefited from having Bayley by her side.
Sasha by her side.
Sasha by her side. I don't want to see Bayley in a feud with somebody else without Sasha by her side. I don't know that she has the strength to do that. Sasha can go with, against anyone on her own and kill it. She's a boss. Put the title on her.
Could you imagine, since now that Bianca Belair is on SmackDown, if Bianca just got thrusted right into a feud with Sasha Banks? That's somebody that she was always compared to in NXT, so you put that dream feud together right away, it prints money. And honestly, Mikey Wilson also is actually going to go with Bayley to retain her title here, so he could pick up a big swing there. But I think Bayley probably deserves some time off, so if Sasha gets the win, let Bayley just kind of coast for a little bit and do whatever she wants to do. I don't really care. But yeah, we both are going with Sasha, and that's the official matches that we know of as of tonight. But I saw on Twitter, and I texted Tucky during the middle of the day, a graphic for The Fiend versus TBar. Now, if you've seen Monday Night Raw, you know Retribution and The Fiend kind of got into it a little bit at the beginning of the show, which that was a pretty fun opening segment.
I really enjoyed it between the Hurt Business, The Fiend, Retribution, all of that mixing up. They looked, The Fiend and Alexa Bliss looked strong and not backing down, but they didn't get into it. You know what I mean? And, yeah, I'm excited to see how it goes. I thought the beginning of Raw was outstanding.
So, yeah, if this match does happen, Mikey Wilson is going to go with The Fiend. Tucky, I'm assuming you were going that route, but which would be really tough, though, because Retribution hasn't honestly gotten a win or come out on top in many segments recently.
I went with The Fiend, and I wrote The Fiend down for you as well.
Well, yeah, that is what I'm going with, but I honestly think it'll probably be a no contest.
Yeah.
If this match does happen, we're
Retribution
saying Retribution or the Hurt Business gets involved, because right now they're not on the card either. So, I mean, if I was betting on this, I would say we're going to get a no contest, because I don't think T-Bar or anybody in Retribution deserves to lose right now.
Especially after they lost to the Hurt Business on Monday. So,
and they got all Sister Abigail afterwards. Not the strongest booking for a new group trying to take over WWE. But yeah, we all are going with The Fiend if that match were to happen. And this last one is just a guess. We haven't seen anything about it anywhere, but
it makes sense.
It does make sense if you've been paying attention to the weekly television of WWE. Kevin Owens versus Alistair Black. If this match were to happen, I think this one is another toss-up. I think both guys need a win bad to, get up on that trajectory where they deserve to be, because both guys are immensely talented. But I went with the heel earlier with Elias and Hardy, so I'm going to go with our guy Kevin Owens here. I think Owens needs to be, propelled up the card a little more, and Black could maybe get a loss here and still be able to bounce back.
I'm going with Black for kind of the opposite reason. I think it's ready. I think it's time to start sending him up. They've invested some time into him being heelish, and let's see what he can do.
Yeah, so there it is. That's all we got for you this time. 2020 Hell in the Cell is happening this Sunday. Let us know down below in the comments section who you got winning each match at Hell in the Cell. Make sure you check out the show on Twitter at PotOnTheMark. Tucky, any final remarks?
Don't forget to hit the like and the subscribe button on this video.
Smash
also,
it.
Check out the channel. We've got a list of videos. There's going to be another Pro Wrestling Crate above or below this one.
We might be wearing the same thing we're wearing right now.
Spoiler alert.
Spoiler alert.
So, I unbox Pro Wrestling Crates every month. I really enjoy them. So, other than that, you can follow the podcast on Twitter at PotOnTheMark. Give us a shout out. Let us know.
And don't forget to check out the Overtime Sports Network's new website, otsportsnetwork.wixsite.com/OTSN. And we will talk to you guys next time when we come to you with some more pay-per-view predictions.
See you!